Good morning. Welcome to live coverage of the 34th annual TC10K, coming to you live from the beautiful Inner Harbor here in Victoria. I'm Joe Perkins. Joining me is our race legend, our race expert, Bruce Deacon, two-time Olympian, a winner of the TC10K. What a gorgeous day. We had a nice day yesterday. We thought it would be cloudy, not the case.
No, it is absolutely stunning. The sun is shining. A little bit of a breeze this morning, which will affect runners as they go along Dallas Road. But it's going to be a stellar day.
You know, we have bounced back at the TC10K. Last year, 5,500 runners, over 7,500 this year. A mix of elite runners, your casual runners. We're going to have full race coverage getting going at 8 o'clock. We want to bring in Jeff King, who's going to be near the finish line today, bringing us reaction from the winners and, well, not losers, but the participants in this race. Jeff, you've been covering this event for a very long time.
Yeah.
What's this morning like for you?
Well, I mean, it's one of my favorite mornings of the year, first of all, especially when you have a morning like this. The sun's out, the runners are pretty excited. As I look up at the flag on the Grand Pacific, you can tell that the wind is picking up right now, and I'm sure that Bruce's analysis will, let us know what that wind factor is going to be for the runners as they run along the beautiful Dallas waterfront. I can tell you this, Bruce mentioned that it was 1990-ish when he ran his first TC10K. He's lost track of how many he ran. I moved here in 2001 and ran it for the first time, and I swore to myself, I'm going to run this race each and every year. Well, then I started covering the race, and I've covered it for about 20 years, and I can tell you, I love a couple of things. The anticipation right now at the start line, just a few minutes before they start, people have trained, and everyone has a different story as to, how they got to this start line at the TC10K, and we'll be telling you some of those stories throughout the next hour. But also this finish line, and when people cross the finish line, and even though, it's going to be tough for parts of the race, the smiles and the laughter and sometimes the tears at the finish line is just amazing. So happy to be here and looking forward to a great 34th annual TC10K, fellas.
Bruce, Jeff mentioned the wind. It's 11 degrees right now. There is a wind. It looks like it's almost moving north off the water. How is that going to factor in? I mean, we were talking before we came on. There's really two parts to this race. There's the beginning 5K, and then the second 5K when the runners hit Dallas Road, and that's when the wind tends to play a factor.
It does, and you really, it can either be at your back and pushing you along, or it can be a headwind or a side wind, which really makes things difficult. And because of the Olympic Peninsula, you really don't know. I mean, there's a difference with the wind here downtown than there is along the water. Usually it's pretty strong along the water, and it can really be a challenge. It can really force people to do some tactical things as they race and that sort of thing.
We're a few minutes from the start of this race. Very quickly, for people that will be joining us for the next hour or so, give us a few names, people you're keeping an eye on as potential winners of this 34th race.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Dana Podorski in the women's side and Kate Ayers, they're the ones that I would say would probably be, either one of those will be the first to cross the line. I think on the men's side, you've got Matt Travellini and you've got Thomas Nobbs. Both are very strong athletes, and they'll be racing right to the finish. There's some good prize money on the line for the men and women, and so they'll be fighting it out right to the end.
We are about a minute away from this race getting going. Just to give you a breakdown of what you can expect over the next hour, we will have coverage of our elite runners. We expect them to finish around the 30-minute mark. I know a few of them probably want to break that 30-minute mark. That's hard to do. Once the elite runners finish, we will have coverage of the people you know. Everybody knows someone on Vancouver Island taking part in the TC10K. Jeff King will be out at the finish line getting reaction for you. We do have special guests joining us throughout the hour to give us their input. This is going to be a fabulous race. We thought it would be a little grayer than it is right now, but the sun has come out and we are back in a big way here. 7,500 runners, and looking at the clock right now, it looks like we're going to get going. So why don't we sit back, we'll listen in, we'll take a look at the starting gates here, and you can get a feel for what's going down right now at Belleville and Government as these racers wind up Wharf and up Yates. So enjoy this race coverage, listen in, and we'll be with you shortly. Thank you.
It's legendary. We're all welcome to it.
Okay. All right, they are off, Bruce. The runners are working their way towards Wharf Street. Walk us through what's going through their minds in these opening minutes.
Absolutely. Well, right now they're looking at getting a good start, staying safe because there's lots of people around them. They're eyeing up their competitors. So I think let's just do a little quick run through as to, who's going to be, in the mix at this point in time. You can probably see Dana Podorski. Her and Kate Ayers will be the top women there. You got Matt Travaglini. He's got a beard there. You can pick him out in the crowd. Thomas Nobbs. Thomas Nobbs is a taller athlete racing. He's from Vancouver. Fantastic sun run just a couple weeks ago. Was right in the mix, right near the end. He'll be a strong contender today. We've got Daniel Damon. Daniel is one of UVic's best runners. He's going to be featuring at the front along with Josh Gazelle. Josh was one of UVic's top athletes. He's got a 30:11 best time. He'll be in the mix. Last year's third place finisher Jack Stanley, and last year's winner Tafiri Kabidi Belcha. He's going to be right up there too.
I imagine, Bruce, that one of the challenges when you're in a race like this and you're trying to win is to pace yourself somewhat out of the gates. You don't want to go all out at the beginning. Is that the mentality for these elite runners?
Right. You want to settle into your pace pretty quick. I mean, your first mile is you want to get into your pace. You don't want to blow it all in the first part of the race. The first part of the race kind of winds its way through downtown. There's a few corners in there. You want to make sure that you're safe and that you're getting around the corners. You can see what's coming up.
For those who haven't been down here, who haven't taken part in the TC10K, let me just go over the race so you understand it. It starts obviously down in the Inner Harbor, and it winds its way up Wharf Street. They take a turn onto Yates and then to Cook Street. And from Cook Street, it's sort of a windy route through the Fairfield neighborhood. That portion of the race typically takes about 5K. Once you hit Dallas Road, that was that second portion of the race we were talking about earlier, when runners basically follow the water line all the way back into downtown Victoria. And are runners sort of sectioning out the race that way in their mind?
Often you'll do something like that. You'll find your own way as how you're going to divide the race up and what part of the race you want to do what. So, I mean, as you come on to Dallas Road, you've got that big hill right off of Ross Bay Cemetery, and it's quite challenging, and then you're still climbing right up to the top of Beacon Hill Park. So it's a lot of, if you got a wind in your face, it's going to be a challenging part of the race.
The TC10K was first held, if you can believe it, back in 1989. It started with 1,600 runners. Today, it is one of the largest races, 10K races in the country. When did you run it, Bruce? Do you remember? It was too long ago.
Well, I think my first one was 1990, and I ran it for most years. Most springs, this was be part of my feature races.
For Olympians, though, many of them use this as sort of a training race to prepare for those larger competitions, don't they?
They do, especially if you're looking for a track season. You want to finish off your road season first, or often athletes will use this in preparation for a spring marathon.
We're spending a lot of time talking about those elite runners, but really this is a community event that brings runners from all over Vancouver Island down to Victoria. I said earlier, everybody knows someone that takes part in this race. There's a lot of people, too, that spend months preparing for this. You know, if they want to get into running, they want to get healthier, there's a ton of programs on the South Island that help people prepare for this day.
Absolutely, and there's a fantastic Learn to Run program that's associated with the race, and it's helped so many people turn the corner in their health, in their fitness. It's given them a goal, and it's been life-changing for people, this race, in the sense that it started them on a road to fitness and enjoyment of the sport of running.
How many people, when you're in your running circles talking to people, I'm sure all of them at some point in their life have taken part in today's event.
Oh, it's just such a huge community event. I mean, people want to be part of this, and people train all through the winter to make this a feature race for them.
In terms of today's conditions, I mean, I'm not an experienced runner, but I imagine having the sun out does help from a mental perspective. You're not running in that gray sort of island weather that we can have here. There must be, spirits, I imagine, are high just to wake up and look at this blue sky.
Well, if you live on the island, April is very inconsistent in terms of its weather. So to get a day like this is just fantastic. This is a stellar day for everybody. And it's a great day. The wind will affect some of the people at the front, but for the vast majority of people, they won't even feel it. They'll be surrounded by other folks and not even feeling the wind at all.
We do want to thank some of our community sponsors that make this event possible, and there are a lot of them. Of course, Times Colonists, our title partner today for the TC10K. Our premier partner is Thrifty Foods, Peninsula Co-op, Brown Brothers, Front Runners, and Impressive Properties. And then we've got our media partners, CHEK Media, Use.ca, Jack 103.1, 98.5 Ocean. A lot of organizations that are synonymous with Vancouver Island taking part in today's event. We are waiting right now. I'm looking at my clock. We're about coming up on 10 minutes into this race. We are having some technical issues here at the broadcast booth where our monitor here is unfortunately gone down, so we're working on getting that up and running. But you at home, I'm sure you're enjoying a great race as the runners wind their way up Yates Street into Fairfield right now. Bruce, you mentioned when we sat down today that you thought that Tom Nobbs, he's wearing that number 24 bib, you thought he would be one of the racers to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he's raced well this year, and he's a very talented runner. He'll want to go and push the pace. He'll want to try to make this a hard effort, and so he's the one I would be keeping my eyes on at the front.
In terms of running in a pack, sometimes we see runners, often 3 or 4 of them running together. Sometimes one breaks away. The strategy behind that is it's easier to run as a group. Do you want to carry most of the run in that group and break away at the end? Just explain a bit more of the strategy that goes into actually winning a race like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's really 3 ways to win a race. There's one which is you go and you break away early. You just go to the front and you hammer it. And
now, is that a smart strategy?
For some people, that's their strategy, and it works for them. It's their jam, and that's what they like to do. And there is a little bit of pressure. You're in the front. You don't know what your competitors are doing. You're breaking the wind on a day like this. It's a hard way to race. If you're well ahead of everybody in the run, then and if you're fitter than everybody else there, then it's a good way to win. The other way is you run with the pack and then you put in a big surge and try to break away before the final 500 meters or so. And then the last way is you just sit and you kick, and you sprint to the finish.
What were you known for?
I like to surge.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I'd usually put in a few really good surges. I'd pick a spot or two where I wanted to really hammer, or I'd sense when the runners around me were feeling a little weaker, and that's when I would try to put the dagger in and make them hurt.
All right, let's bring in Jeff King. Jeff is going to be wandering the finish line, bringing us the sights and sounds as these runners end their race. Jeff is standing by with a special guest who made today possible. Jeff.
Yeah, thanks very much, Joe. And Mark DeFrias is with me right now, part of the committee here. And you're over at the start line. Talk about that, because I always love being over there. First of all, the porta potties are pretty busy. People are trying to take care of business before they get out there. But talk about the anticipation. 7,500 runners in the sunshine today. Lots of smiles, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It was hanging out there and seeing all those smiling faces, and everyone was been been waiting so long to get back to these numbers after the pandemic. To have 7,500 people, our official numbers are 7,613 runners. Thank you. Yeah. So that's fantastic, and everyone's having a great time. You're right; those porta potties were a little bit full. Everyone drank a little bit too much water.
Wow. I mean, it's the truth. You want to get ready, the anticipation. Let's talk about the clinics leading up to it being a big part of it. And, people that may have thought that they could never tackle, a 10K or out on this course today. There's new runners. There's runners that, maybe have gotten over illness or, different obstacles in life. Everyone has a story that's out there today, and you certainly saw that, I'm sure, in your training clinics.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing about the training clinics is a 14-week program that's offered by Run Sport, the Victoria Society, and offering that program allows people who may not feel comfortable completing a 10K. It gives them all the tools that they'll need to finish that 10K. So we had over 400 people register for this year's clinics, and they're all out here smiling and getting ready to run the race, or they've already started running the race. And I think it's just a testament to what the society's trying to accomplish, which is to get people out there running. Right? Health and wellness is the most important critical thing to our community, and this event being a 10K, it's not just about the elite runners. It's about everyone in the community, and you don't have to run it. You don't have to be a runner. You can be a walker as well, and so it kind of works for everyone in the community.
And then lastly, let's talk about the volunteers, because the volunteers step up to the plate year after year. This thing does not tick without all the volunteers. I know you want to give them a big shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Our volunteer manager, Connie Hardy, she's been with us the last 4 years. She does an amazing job recruiting all these volunteers. We have people from all walks of life. We have groups like the UVic Vikes women's soccer team was out here this morning, and everyone kind of helping out, chipping in for this event, and it was amazing. We have people out here at 3, 4 in the morning to get set up this morning just to make sure that when the runners arrive, it was all ready to go. So this event doesn't run without the volunteers, and our community is known for our volunteerism, and this is another day where we've proven it once again.
Congratulations, buddy. Over 7,600. Job well done for the entire committee.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So next year you're running it though, right?
Because I'm on the broadcast, unless I can win it and then interview myself at the end, so I don't think I will, but thanks for joining me, and we'll throw it back over to Joe and Bruce.
Jeff, that sounds like a lot of excuses. We can make that happen. If you want to run, you can run. No. When was the last time you ran, Jeff?
Years ago. You want to know my time?
I think everybody wants to know your time.
I think it was. Bruce is looking back at me right now. It was You can look it up. You can look it up. I ran a 43:34.
Right.
43.
Good job.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, no, that's very good.
Bruce Deacon's impressed. This is
something. Wish my hair flew off that day, by the way. That was part of my.
That's where it went.
So fast.
Aerodynamics.
I'll tell you what. If you want to run it next year, I'll run it with you.
Okay. You're on.
You want to do it?
Done.
Done.
He
threw it down. Okay, buddy.
All right. I'm looking at my watch. We're 15 minutes into this race, Bruce. 15 minutes into this race. Where would they be? And I say that, viewers, apologies, but we're having some issues here, so we're flying a little blind out here today, but we're going to make it work. Where would Bruce Deacon be at 15 minutes in his prime?
Right now, in his prime, we'd probably be about halfway.
Halfway? So they're coming up to Dallas Road.
So they're coming up to the 5K mark.
Okay.
And they're about to turn on to Memorial. So they're going to be heading into the windy part of the course. We'll find out just how bad the wind is along the water for the elite athletes.
And, where we are right now on Belleville Street, there is a bit of a wind, and at times it's picking up. You can hear, I'm looking up at the Hotel Grand Pacific, the Canadian flag. It is blowing quite heavy. That has to play a factor because in addition to the wind along Dallas Road, you do have some inclines. There are some hills by Beacon Hill Park.
Oh, there are. In fact, the climb from Ross Bay Cemetery is quite significant. And you really have to work. That's going to test a lot of the top runners as they try to, and it's often a place where there's a break because someone feels that they're strong, that they can take on the field, that they can break away going up the hill. You get a little bit of a flat section up at the top of Clover Point, and then it climbs a little bit more as you get to Beacon Hill Park, and then it's a nice long drop.
Of all the 10K races that you've taken part in, where does this one rank in terms of the scenery? Because we hear it from many of the runners that it doesn't get any better than winding your way through the streets of the capital city.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, not only do you get the water and the views along the water, but at this time of year, you've got the cherry blossoms. It is just stunning going through some of the neighborhoods in Fairfield. They've just turned onto Dallas Road now, so they're now going to climb up Ross Bay Cemetery Hill, and then we'll find out just what's happening with the wind there.
We've got Paul O'Callaghan. He's on the mic here at the finish line, our race announcer for another year. Paul did say that some of these runners will be looking to finish sub 30. That is quite a feat, especially with the wind. Do you think we'll see a sub 30 time? And if we do, how impressive is that?
Well, it's not, I wouldn't say this is a fast course. So, you know, it's a lot of corners, some good hills in there too. So I wouldn't call this a fast course. If they go sub 30, I think they've really run well. It's, we have had some times that have been under 30 and faster. So it is possible to run really quick.
Well, from one racing legend to another, we've got someone everybody knows in town, Mr. Rob Reed, standing by with Jeff King. Jeff, over to you.
Yeah, Mr. Running here in Victoria, Vancouver Island for sure, and 35 years of front runners.
Right.
I mean, you're the man. You've pretty well everyone out there is wearing front runners or New Balance shoes, and you got a lot of people into running. A lot of people that are on this course today are running because of your influence.
Well, just really lucky to be here. You know, we're the largest city in Canada, I think, as far as numbers of runners go, you know, per capita. And I'm just lucky I threw the clothes in the car and kept going west and ended up here.
Talk about the change in runners. Bruce Deacon and I were speaking about this prior to the race.
Yeah.
The footwear and the technology has changed, and that has made many seconds off times in 10K and certainly in marathons.
Yeah, I mean they're saying a couple seconds per 800 meters or less, right? And I mean we used to look for carbon rubber on the bottom of the shoes as cushioning, and then it went to sheet EVA, which was just a thing they cut out and made it look like your foot. And then compression molded EVA, where they injected air into the midsoles to lighten the midsole plus added more cushioning to it. And then we added polyurethane for some support in the shoe. And then somebody lately came up with why not a Graflex plate, in the midsole. So I mean it's been phenomenal, the response it's had for runners. And one of my young staff said, you guys used to actually not run in these and do marathons in your times that you used to run? And I go, yeah, so it's really funny.
Yeah, and speaking of marathons, you shared your story of how you and Bruce Deacon met, and maybe you can give us the Reader's Digest version, because it's a really cool story. You're both transplants to Victoria, but you met far, far away and ended up in the same community.
Yeah, we were in Ontario, and I just gotten into marathoning, so it was my drug of choice, so to speak. And I was a camp counselor, as they do in Ontario, go to summer camp, and I was up there every summer after my dad died. My mom would send me away. And I was up a camp counselor and a program director up there, and this young 12-year-old shows up at camp, and I had to get everybody running because it was my thing now. And so I got the kids running, and the young 12-year-old sent me a letter the following spring with an article from the Ottawa Citizen, and he looked like Mighty Mouse running through the page of the paper. And it was a 12-year-old Bruce Deacon running the Ottawa Marathon.
Wow.
And he sent me a little note, said, thanks for getting me into it. But, thank goodness that the track club there got him and said, slow down, you're 12. You don't need to run more marathons yet. You can, the Olympics you can build up to, which he did, which is so phenomenal.
And then represented our country 2 times. And then finally, just speak to over 7,600 runners this year. You must be like sort of a proud papa, seeing all these runners out here, knowing that you had a pretty big influence on a lot of them.
Well, there's other stores in town. And, all the clinics that have happened, and, Run Sport, and, Mariah and everybody that got clinics going, and runners learning how to walk, run 5K to 10K. It's just so impressive how many people that have come out. And I can't believe the numbers since I came here. When I first was running here 35 years ago, people would slow down in that truck and say, do you need a lift? Where are you going? But now every hour of the day, you see runners running in Victoria. And thank goodness, I think, COVID had a part of that. But for our mental health and our physical health, it's not about lifespan, it's about life health sort of thing. And we've all established that. And running is the easiest thing to do. Just lace up those shoes and go for it. And run for it.
Good.
Podcast.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we got to.
Yes. Oh, your new podcast on. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Recording at CHEK.
Yeah.
All right. There's Rob Reed, and I'll throw it back over to Bruce. Take us back to 12-year-old Bruce meeting Rob Reed for the first time.
Oh, wow. Well, he was training for a marathon, and I wanted to know a little bit more, so I went and cornered him and asked him, hey, what's this running thing? And he says, well, I figured if I could get him on a run, I'd get his undivided attention. But he said, well, the shortest I'm running is 8K. And I said, well, I can run 8K, which was a bit of a lie because the furthest I'd really run is across the schoolyard being chased by a bunch of kids at recess. But now I had to go and prove it. And so I ran around this loop at the camp and did 8K. And I figured if I stopped, it wouldn't count. So I thought at the end of it, maybe this is a sport I can beat the big kids at, and that was just about everybody at that point in my life. I was one of the shortest kids around. So anyways, it was good. Rob got me into it, and I never turned back. It's just been a wonderful sport.
Worked out pretty well for you, I'd say, Bruce.
It worked out great.
If you're watching, thank you for joining us for live coverage of this 34th TC10K live from Victoria's beautiful Inner Harbor, and oh boy, is it ever beautiful this morning. Just got the official split time for the halfway mark for the leaders, 15:03 at the halfway mark. So if they want to get that sub 30 time, which I know so many of them do, they're going to have to pick it up and have a faster second half, which will be hard to do.
It will be, but I mean, we've got a three-person race right now. We've got Daniel Matai and we've got Thomas Nobbs that are battling it out. There is a fair bit of prize money on the line here too, so it's $1,000 for first, $750 for second, and then there's bonuses for being the top Canadian too. So there is some, you can double dip, which means you can win more than one prize. And we're going to see a good battle happening here. Matt Travolini is in third. He's racing there too, and he's got Canadian and open money there too to chase after.
A lot of talk about Matthew Travolini. He's wearing bib number 23. He was born in London, Ontario. He began running when he was 15 years old. He helped the University of Calgary to win multiple national medals when he was there. Also a trail and mountain runner. He appears to be in third here, but it looks to be a two-person race right now out in front as they approach that sort of 6K, 7K mark, working their way up Dallas Road.
They've got about 3K to go, I believe, so it's going to be a good, hard race right to the finish line. You can see people now, they're coming by Beacon Hill.
And this hill, I mean, it doesn't look like much when you're in your vehicle or riding your bike, but when you're running it, boy, it's a lot of work to get up there.
So now these guys in the front, they're dropping down the hill right now. Things are opening up, and you can see that they're testing each other. They want to see what's going to happen here. Thomas is in the lead there, kind of pushing the pace, not letting it settle in. He wants to keep the pressure on Daniel. He wants to keep him moving and not let it sit down to a kick. He's going to press things really hard.
How much interaction or communication? I mean, you can interact with another runner without saying anything. So they're running pretty close together right now. Is there any sort of interaction there?
Generally not. Now here we see a move by Daniel. You can see that he's gone to the front. And he's going to keep pressing things too. Like, these guys are in full racing. There's not a lot of talk and love happening right now.
And that was Daniel Damien out front.
This is Daniel Matai.
This
is the top female here you're seeing.
What a pace right now.
Yep.
This is your top female.
That's
with a
right.
great.
And we don't see a bib, so it's difficult to see who it is.
They're halfway through they're about 7.5K through, coming up to that 8K mark as they enter James Bay right now.
This looks like Dana here.
Dana Podorski, a native of Windsor, Ontario, currently lives in Vancouver. She's coached by her husband. She's an 11-time national medalist and a member of the Canadian 2017 World Championship team and the 2020 Olympic team in the marathon. Again, what a beautiful day for a run.
Yeah,
a little bit of wind off the water. Yeah,
you can see Daniel's pulling away. So he's put the hammer down. He's gone for the win now, and he's going to press and press, and Thomas is starting to drop back a little bit. This is, once you've made that commitment, once you've really decided that I'm going to go for it, and you put the hammer down, a little glance over his left shoulder there. He wants to know how his move is working. Thomas isn't getting dropped, though. He's hanging in. He's still within contact.
Tell me the time that he came.
All right, we are about 7 minutes away from the finish line now, 7 minutes away from the finish line as we watch these runners enter James Bay. We're going to bring Jeff back in for another interview, but we'll continue to watch this, what appears to be a two-person race out front.
Yeah, thanks very much, Joe and Bruce. Yeah, great race going on right now. Marilyn Arsenal joins me right now. A bit of a running legend here on the island as well, and you're training and coaching some of the runners, some of the elites that are on the course right now, including Jen Miller.
Yes, I am. Yeah, Jen's been an athlete of mine for about 4 years now, and she's just amazing. One of those moms, running moms, who's got, 2 kids, and she's got a job, and she volunteers for lots of things, and just amazing. A really good role model for the running community. Yeah.
Are you nervous for your runners? Do you get nervous for them when they're out on the course and, looking at the wind and some of the factors of the morning?
Yeah, sure, I do. I actually really get nervous. I feel that pre-race jitter for them, but once the race starts, just like when I raced, I start to calm down and I just trust that they know what to do and they're going to have a good day. Yeah.
So coaching elites, but you're also coaching the everyday runner, and some of them running this course for the first time ever. Speak to that. And, we have the elites here, but it's a community race, and it's all about health and wellness, and that's part of what you do as a coach.
Yeah, definitely. I have more recreational runners than elites, and for most of the runners that I coach that are just happy to be involved in such a big event, and for them it's just as exciting for them as anyone else, and it just promotes health and wellness. Like a lot of these runners are not using running, but running's a part of their life because it gives them so much back. It gives back. Plus, they get to be part of a big community, and they'll talk about this for weeks after when they finish their race. They're so pumped that they did it. Yeah.
You've been out front in this race before. We're down to the nitty-gritty here, the last couple kilometers. What's the strategy? If you're in the lead right now, or where's your mindset at?
Oh, the mindset is get to that mile marker and then just start to push as hard as I can go. That I was always on this course. It was getting to that mile, with a mile to go, seeing that sign and getting up that last little hill, and then I would just put the pedal to the metal. I'm telling you, and I just had to trust that I could hold on for another 5 minutes without having to slow right down, and it's just about trusting your fitness at that point.
And when you come around that final corner, hey, that's delightful to see that finish line banner.
What's funny is when you see the banner, it looks closer than what it is. It every year I did, I was like, but it seemed closer. And did they move it? Is it farther away this year? And no, it's always in the same spot. But that's how racing is, when you're really on the rivet, when you're really just trying to squeeze every last ounce of pain out of yourself. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
There's Marilyn Arsenal. Throw it back to you fellas on the desk.
Okay, thank you very much. We are getting very close. Our lead runners are coming up to the 9 kilometer mark, so they're in their final K right now. We should expect to see someone cross that finish line shortly. It looks like, as of last check, we have Thomas Nobbs and David Matai out in front.
Right, and Thomas is broken away, and he's looking very strong as he approaches the finish.
Thomas Nobbs, if you're wondering, his personal best time for a 10K was just under 30 minutes at 29:54. There he is, working his way through James Bay, coming up to the finish line. He's got a great pace on him right now.
Oh, absolutely, and there's no catching him right now. He's now within probably about 600 meters from the finish line. He's looking very strong, and he's probably got 5 seconds on second place.
Keep your eye on the clock. Again, 29:54 is Thomas Nobbs' personal best time as he winds his way down Belleville Street. He knows where the finish line is.
Yeah.
He knows how far he has to go, but this is Thomas Nobbs' race right now to win.
Oh yeah, and he's really opened it up. There's no catching him. He's got a good 10 seconds, 10, 12 seconds, so He's now pulling into, kind of the home stretch here.
This is the moment of the race when you can start to hear the crowd. You can hear the finish line. You can hear Paul O'Callaghan, the announcer. That must help you in this final stretch. Just push it that much harder.
It does. Although, this is a long stretch. You can see the finish line, and it looks so close, but it really is a fair bit of running left. So here he is. He's coming into the home stretch.
29:54, folks. 29:54 is Thomas Nobbs' personal best time. Will he beat that today at this 34th TC10K? He's pushing it. He's going. He's emptying the tank. And as a quick look behind to see if anyone's near him, it's his to win. No one's catching him. He knows he's got it.
Yeah, he's going to go under 30 minutes. This is a great race on this course. Here he comes. Look at this time. This is a fantastic time for this course. It's not an easy course.
Not only under 30, but a new personal best for Thomas Nobbs, your winner of the TC10K, Thomas Nobbs. 29:41 for Thomas Nobbs.
Fantastic racing. Here comes second place, Daniel Matai. He's going to cross the finish line a little bit under 30 minutes.
There you see him,
Great
David
run for him.
As David and Thomas have a quick hug at the finish line. It was the two of them out front the entire
race. And here comes Matthew Tavellini. He's going to be a little bit over 30 minutes here. A strong run for him.
There's Matthew Tavellini.
Race.
All right, we've got the winner with Jeff King standing by. Jeff, over to you.
Thomas Nobbs' personal best. Tell us about your race.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I don't know how I was going to recover off the last 10K in the sun run. Just one sec. Yeah, it was great to see David. I mean, David, I think, is kind of newer on the racing scene. Trinity Western, it's great to see them coming back. But yeah, just working with him. My boy Josh is coming in. This is why I came over here, this guy. One other friend who didn't make the start line. Let's go, Josh!
I love it. Talk about the course and the wind out there today.
Honestly, I thought it would be a little more coasting throughout the first 5-6K, like the sun run. But that was a pack of guys, step for step, colder conditions, I don't know. I honestly, I did jump behind David at one point in the wind, but I felt like we shared the last 4K pretty well and just testing each other. And I don't know, hopefully you see some footage you like out there and it's entertaining, I don't know.
And a personal best, did you think you were going to crack that today?
I don't know, this was just racing for experience before the 10K Nationals in Ottawa, so yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There's Thomas Nobbs, the 2023 winner of the TC10K. I'll throw it back to you guys as we look for the first female runner to cross the finish line.
Yeah, we're keeping our eyes peeled. Thank you for that, Jeff, and congratulations to Thomas. All right, we've got runners crossing the finish line at a fast pace right now as we tick towards that 32-minute mark.
That's right. We just had our first Masters come across the line. Teferi Kapiti Belcha, he was last year's winner. He came across in 31-37. We have some very exciting racing here. Of course, every runner at this point in time is just laying it all out. They've got meters left to go. They're sprinting with all they've got. Here's Nick Walker coming across the finish line. So this is a second master for Nick Walker. This is very good racing here for everybody. And the times are quite good, so I would suggest that it's not as windy as we feared.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Just based on the finish times here, what does that tell you? I mean, just not as windy, or perhaps just everyone's a little eager to go since we've got such a big crowd this year?
Well, you know what it's like with the Olympic Peninsula. You get the winds could be quite a bit different than here in the Inner Harbor. My hunch is that they got a little bit of a tailwind, actually.
We are keeping our eyes for that top female. We're looking at 33 minutes right now. We're expecting her to cross the finish line shortly here. But we've got racers coming in as we take a look back to Dallas Road. The large crowd is, I mean, if you're at this point along Dallas Road, you're looking pretty good. You're looking at a 45, 46 minute time. I mean, that's Jeff King territory. What a great day for a race, and I'm just looking around here. Belleville is packed with people, smiles are on faces, 7,600 plus people. And the faces of the runners, Bruce, as they finish, I mean, you can tell that we're setting some personal best times here.
We are, and we've got people that have worked very hard. You can see the pain on their face. This is just not an easy effort at all. They're really working hard. This is where the last few hundred meters, you're just emptying everything you've got.
Here's our female.
Here's our first female coming into sight.
All right, there she is, trying to get a bib number on her right now. It looks
This is
like
Dana Podorski.
It looks like that is Dana Podorski coming in from Windsor, Ontario. We mentioned her to you earlier. She lives in Vancouver. She's coached by her husband. Dana Podorski is going to be our top female for this TC10K as she crosses the finish line under 35 minutes. Congratulations, Dana Podorski.
Very well done, Dana. Dana's an Olympian from 2020, ran the marathon for Canada in Tokyo, and just a tremendous athlete. She had a huge breakthrough to qualify for the Olympics in Toronto, winning the trials.
We'll see if Jeff can grab Dana for some reaction here. I believe Jeff has Dana. Let's hear from our winner of the female category. Jeff, over to you.
I'd like to get someone when they're completely out of breath. Dana Podorski, the 2023 female winner of the TC10K. Congratulations. Tell us about your race.
Oh, thank you. I mean, the goal going into this was just to have a good, hard effort, and I definitely did that. You know, nothing fancy with the time today, but I'm coming off of marathon training and prepping for a BMO marathon next week, so it's great to get like a good effort in, and I definitely never take for granted breaking the tape. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that, so this was really special.
Talk about the conditions out there today and the wind along Dallas Road.
Yeah, it seemed calm when we woke up, but naturally it became a little gusty, and I sort of found myself not in a group. I think just because I was trying to keep the pedal to the metal, so I didn't want to just tuck in, so I definitely made it a little bit harder on myself. But there were some moments of tailwind which were helpful in the latter stages, but it's fine. You know, it keeps it honest.
Your husband's your coach. Talk about that. Talk about that dynamic. Is it always all smiles and chips and gum, or is it going to get a little edgy at times?
Oh, of course. But we've been doing this for a long time, so I think I've become a little bit better at just leaving bad workouts, you know, where they are and not bringing it home to the family. But yeah, I mean, it comes with its challenges, but at the same time, like, he knows exactly how I am on the day, and we can make calls. So I think it works really well, and we've definitely matured so that it works really well.
Yeah, I bet. Former Olympian, and sort of, you know, where does this, you know, winning the TC10K sort of rank up in your career?
Oh, well, the Olympics for me were a complete disaster, so that's nowhere near the top. You know, qualifying for the Olympics is probably like the top of my list, but I mean, honestly, anytime you break the tape, that's like, I think in the past I, you know, just sort of like pushed it aside, like whatever, onto the next, but later in my career, like, I'm just so thankful for those moments, and I just try to really embrace the good days, because you don't know how many left you have.
Well, congratulations, 2023 champion here at the TC10K.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. There she is, Dana Podorski, guys, and we'll send it back over to Joe and Bruce.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Congratulations, Dana. We do want to give a shout out to Jennifer Erickson from Victoria, who actually came in second in the female category, as Dana was talking there. A great run by Jennifer Erickson.
Absolutely. Masters Jen Miller, she was third. A great time. We also had fourth place was Rosalind Boutin, and so just really good efforts here for everybody. People are the crowds are coming in now. It's starting to get lots of people coming across in a hurry here. This is a very exciting moment for people.
Yeah, we're entering the thick of it here as the clock ticks towards 40 minutes, runners crossing the finish line at a furious pace. I always find that when you're coming up to James Bay, when you hit that sort of 7-8K mark, you feel like the finish line is right around the corner, but it's deceiving. There is quite a bit of distance to cover from 7, well, it's 3K, but it feels it feels like it should be shorter.
And then you know what? That's the time when you're tired, and so it's a hard 3K. You know, it's a long 3K, so to speak. You know, your legs aren't fresh. You're feeling it. You're trying to gather yourself for a fast finish. But what a day. This is just a fantastic morning for people.
A lot of runners here will be trying to get under that 40-minute mark, which is an amazing feat. So
got another essentially 45 seconds to get under that. And you can see people, they're starting to sprint to try to get under that mark.
Which is an incredible time.
You know, it really is a good barrier for people. You know, it's a good target. Most people can't do that if they haven't had some really good solid training in their legs. You know, it's not an easy feat.
Nice shot along Dallas there as a big group of these 7,600 runners work their way towards the finish line. And a gorgeous aerial shot of the end of the race here from high above Dallas Road. Of course, this event wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the support of so many volunteers and organizations. I do want to mention, of course, Times Colonists, Thrifty Foods, Front Runner, Peninsula Co-op, Brown Brothers, and the list goes on. So many island organizations with deep roots here in our community coming together today to make this race possible. Looking at 40:15 now as the runners continue to cross the finish line here.
Yep, and now you're going to start to get people finishing. There's going to be some gaps because we've had a wave start. A wave start is when we start people in different groups. So the first group was those that were aiming to go under 40. Not everybody in that group will reach their goal, but there should be a little bit of a gap here.
And of course, for the runners, that chip that they all have activates when they cross the start line. So some of these runners who maybe cross the start line a bit late, they'll know, you know, if they're crossing at, let's say, 40:55, it might actually be closer to 40:40 or something like that.
Absolutely, because there's a little bit of time that takes to cross the finish line. Paul Sillick here crossing the line. There's lots of good athletes that are coming, local stars here as they're racing for their final few meters.
41:15 is the time. Again, an incredible time for these runners. That is a fast 10K. As we see the crowd get larger and we work our way towards that 45-minute mark. Again, it's those milestone times, right? 40, 45, 50.
Absolutely, and I think the wonderful thing about a sport like this is that, you know, everybody's got their own personal record, their own personal goals, and so you can finish well back in the field, and yet it's a huge victory for you because you beat your best time, you beat your target time, you maybe broken a barrier time, like, you know, as you were saying, Joe, like a 40 minutes or 45 or 50-minute 10K. And so it's really exciting for people. There's lots of victories out here, not just the first person across the line.
You know, for me, just as a casual observer, a fan of the TC10K, nothing makes me happier than seeing these runners in the final stretch just go all out. You know they're hurting, you know they're tired, but they just push it to the max, and you can see the smile on their face. Maybe not at first, but it comes in quickly after.
Yeah, it's a little bit beyond the finish line that you see the joy.
Once they have the Thrifty's cookie, then it comes.
Then it hits you, yeah,
and the chocolate
absolutely.
Milk. All right, let's check in with Jeff. Jeff's standing by with another guest now. Jeff, over to you.
Yeah, I've got Keith Bridge here with the committee for the TC10K and talk about the success. I mean, the smiles of the runners coming across the finish line says it all, but let's talk about that number, over 7,600 participants. That's got to make you happy.
Oh, it's wonderful, Jeff, and it's great to get back into this. It's a beautiful day. The thing that I'm most happy about, Jeff, is the family run. We've broken a record. We've got well over 800 family runners, and that's not just children. The big
push there has been adults. There's bring your grandfather, bring your granny, come and as a family, come and walk, run, whatever you want in the 1.5K. So that's just been a huge growth there. We're really happy with that.
Yeah, world-class course. I mean, it's something else. And yeah, we talked to the elites that crossed it, but it's that everyday runner. It's that person from the Comox Valley or from Powell River that's come over to run this and maybe accomplishing something that, maybe a year ago they thought they couldn't do.
That's exactly right. And next year, we're going to add a 5K to this event. So that's going to capture more runners and more walkers.
We got a scoop here out of you, Keith.
Total scoop, Jeff. My board will probably go, that's a little early, Keith, but that's okay.
Oh, we love it. We love it. And then lastly, let's give a shout out. We did earlier, but the volunteers, because without them, they're out at the water stations. They're at the feeding stations right now. They're handing out medals. Without the volunteers, this thing does not go.
That's totally right, Jeff. And, ever since the Commonwealth Games in Victoria, we're known as the city with the best volunteers, and I've been working closely with the Victoria Marathon to try and keep a pool of volunteers together, and it's worked out wonderfully. We've got so many volunteers that do 2-3 events in this city, and it's great to see.
Keith, thanks for this.
Did we say we do the 10K? Maybe we'll do the 5K.
Yeah, maybe we'll do the 5K, Joe. That's a better idea. We'll do the 5K.
Okay, you're
on.
You're on, buddy. A 5K race next year. A bit of a scoop right there. Some breaking news. That has got to attract a whole new crowd of runners having a 5K to an event like this.
I think it will. I think we'll wait for the details, find out.
I imagine that's almost an all-out sprint for some of them.
Well, not quite all out, but you're right on a whole different. You're running more of a max VO2 kind of thing at a 5K.
Right.
It is a lot different racing, and so it's you're really pushing yourself quite hard.
45:20 is the clock. If you're just joining us, we are going to stick with this race until the 1 hour mark. So if you have friends, if you have family that think they'll make it across the finish line in under an hour, we will be able to show them to you live here on CHEK. Jeff, we'll go back to you as we continue to talk to some of the folks here at the finish line.
Well, I've got Angela McLeish with me. She is from St. Patrick's Elementary School, and coming up here in just a bit, it's the family run or the kids run, and St. Patrick's Elementary is well represented.
Yes, we are. We've got over 70 athletes that have been working hard over the past month, getting ready for the big run, and overall, it's just a very exciting thing to be a part of the community, and the kids are raring to go.
Yeah, talk about their training, because they've been hard at it, getting ready and prepared for this morning.
Yeah, well, we offer 5 training days. The athletes have to choose at least 2 training days where they come and run at Oak Bay Track and around our school. So they do some quick warm-up, and then they do some distance running and get ready for the 1.5.
Yeah, how excited were they when you left school on Friday?
So excited. We handed out their t-shirts and numbers. They were just bubbling. They couldn't wait to get here. They're asking where to meet 100 times. So hopefully they remember, and we're all 70 of us all here together.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and enjoy the kids' run today.
Thank you, and thanks for all the organizers.
And we will have coverage of the kids' run tonight at 5 with
I'm
Hannah
going to be there. I'm
Pete.
going to be at the finish line chatting to the kids.
You can't compete in the 1.5K race, all right? You got to save it for next year.
You and I should actually head down there. I'm racing you this morning. That's it.
No,
Get over there,
no,
Joe.
I told you next year. I'm not ready. I haven't trained. 1.5K, that's a long way. All right, Jeff, thank you. Let's look at the clock here, 47:15, and this is when we get the big crowds. This is when we get the masses.
Absolutely. You can see the finish. It's getting thicker and thicker with people. This is where, as you mentioned, the majority of athletes will be coming across at this point in time. So very exciting for a lot of people. For a lot of folks, this is their very first 10K they've ever finished. It's a huge accomplishment. They've literally gone from the couch to a 10K in the last few months. And so this is really exciting for them. Some have been on walk-jog programs, so, they're mixing in their jogging with some walking, which is A-okay. That's just great. It's what people do as they get into the running, and it's a nice way to start.
Just over 18 minutes ago, we had the TC10K winner this year across the finish line. That was Thomas Nobbs. Shortly behind him was Dani Podorski.
That's right, the first female athlete. She was looking great coming across the finish line. A really strong effort for her. She indicated that she's getting ready for a marathon next week, likely going to be overrunning Vancouver. So this is probably her final preparation. She'll take it easy for the next week, just getting ready for the big race.
You know, the sun was out and shining bright for the first half of the race. Cloud cover is sort of picking up here in the Inner Harbor. It's a little bit grayer, but I got to tell you, we thought it was going to be pretty dark. We thought it was going to be potentially wet. This is fantastic. You can't ask for better running weather.
It's just perfect, really. And I mean, we were worried about the wind, but we look at the times, and certainly doesn't seem as though that was a huge factor to run a little over 29.5 on this course. For the win, that was a great race for Thomas Nobbs. You don't do that in a day where you're battling a headwind on this course. So clearly, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, Joe.
You know, this was really, in many ways, a big bounce back year for the TC10K. Of course, last year was the first in-person run in 2 years following the pandemic.
Yeah.
They had about 5,500 runners. We have 7,600 runners this year. Looking ahead to next year with the addition of that 5K and, of course, the 10K, I have to think that we should be back around those 9,000 runner levels that we've seen pre-pandemic.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if we could break 10,000?
Oh,
that's
just a matter of time.
But I think so, and I think that, with the addition of a 5K, I'm hoping that people that have kind of been a little bit intimidated by the 10K distance will now, figure that there's a challenge, a fitness challenge to get them through the winter, something that they can set their hearts on and set a goal for, and it'll bring more people out. So, if you're watching this and thinking, well, I don't know if I could do a 10K, well, we've got a solution for you next year, and it doesn't mean you have to pretend to be a kid. Do the 1.5, you can actually do a 5K next year. That's going to be really exciting. What a bit of news.
You know, the elite runners are fun to watch, but for the casual observer, I love this portion of the race, 50 to 1 hour, because this is when you get those runners who maybe, 4 months ago weren't running and they've been training, and these are the times that they're going for, those 50s, 55s, sub 1 hour.
Yeah.
So you see some real efforts here in the final stretch, and over the next 10 minutes, we're going to see it on the faces. We're going to see the last minute push that I talked about earlier. This is fun to watch, this final home stretch.
It really is, and what I like watching is every once in a while you see somebody just giving it over the last 50 meters, everything they got, and they found another gear when the finish line is in sight, and they're really pushing it hard. It's very exciting for a lot of people, and as I mentioned, for a lot of folks, this is their very first 10K or their very first 10K in a long time. So it's great that they're giving it out here, that they've put in the work to get ready, that they've enjoyed this fitness journey, and that they're ready to go for, hopefully more races this year.
The other element of this race that we haven't talked about, but we need to mention, is the charity component. There are several organizations that benefit from this race. I think going in there was $46,000 raised. That's before the race even started, but a lot of good is done because of this race in the community.
It's fantastic the way that people get behind the race and use this to raise some funds, so they can add some money to their registration and dedicate it to a charity. They can do all kinds of things like that. So
you saw the 6 organizations where that money is going on your screen. We are just past the 52-minute mark of this 34th annual TC10K. We're going to throw things over to Jeff, who's standing by with another one of our great runners. Jeff.
Now, and Isla's joining me right now at the finish line here. Isla, how old are you?
11.
And what do you think your time was? You're just over the 52-minute mark-ish?
Yep. 51.
51? Well, congratulations. Talk about your training heading into this. Did you train hard? Was there any training, or did you just go out and run this?
I trained hard.
Did you? And what were you expecting out of this race today? Were you surprised about 51 minutes?
Yeah.
And who did you run with?
My school, some kids from my school, my principal.
And what school are you from?
Marie Montessori Academy.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. What are you going to do with the rest of your day after you crushed the TC10K?
Eat food.
Eat food. That's what I like to hear. Isla, congratulations. Go get your medal.
Thank you.
Hey, that's what it's all about right there, Joe.
Eating food or?
Well, yeah, well, for you and I, it's always about eating the food. But for Isla, the
Oh.
smile, the happiness.
But how about the time?
And the time was amazing. For an 11-year-old, that was fantastic. So that's what it's all about. Yeah, we covered the elites, but it's the everyday, you know, from whether you're 10 or you're 80 years old, everyone's got a story out here at the TC10K at the finish line.
You know, I like that Isla says she's going to eat food because I bet you, I'd like to see the stats, but I bet you TC10K morning, it's one of the busiest morning for breakfast spots in town. It's got to be.
Yeah, what would you have? What are you throwing on the plate?
Anything called lumberjack, like a lumberjack special, bacon and eggs,
Yeah, you
sausage.
are.
I don't deserve it today. I don't
No,
get
you
it.
don't.
Porridge. It's porridge for us. We didn't run.
You get fruit.
Yeah, fruit. You got it. All right, Bruce. 54 minutes. We're in the final stretch of our broadcast here. Of course, the runners will continue to cross the finish line after 9 o'clock. There are walkers here today, too, and that's encouraged.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of people that are walking. They would have started in one of the last of the waves.
Yep.
So they've got lots of time. They don't have to worry about people trying to run past them. They can just take their time and enjoy a beautiful morning along Dallas Road.
And look at that shot. I mean, big shout out to Roll Focus for some of the images we see today, those beautiful aerial shots from the drone. As we come back to the finish line and look at the folks trying to beat that 55-minute mark. Again, that's one of those benchmark times. A lot of people will be trying to get under the 55-minute mark. Let's see if we can see. There you see it, a shot down the Belleville Street, the finish line, as people push to try to get under that 55-minute mark.
That's right. And, you know, as you're watching this, you might see people that you know because it's such a community event, right? Like, as you've mentioned, everybody knows somebody running the TC10K today.
Let's get a final thought here as we say goodbye shortly from Jeff King. Your thoughts on this gorgeous morning?
Well, to say 100% success would actually be an understatement. 7,600 runners in the sunshine, one of the nicest courses in the world. And I'll tell you, our community is better because of the TC10K each and every year. So thanks to you, Joe, and thanks to Bruce Deacon for his analysis today.
Bruce, let's get your final thoughts here as we watch runners cross before that 56-minute mark.
Well, it's been a great day here for racing. I mean, the times, the winning times, fantastic. 2 people under 30, 1 almost under 30. Great runs for the women. Fantastic racing here. Just been a great day. And then you look at the smiles as people cross the line. Truly an amazing community event. Truly an amazing event for getting people off the couch and active. So well done to all the volunteers and all the officials. Fantastically successful day.
Bruce, thanks for spending an hour of your morning with us. We appreciate it. Your running expertise was greatly needed today. I do want to thank and congratulate our champions today. Thomas Nobbs, your winner for the men. Dana Podorski, she's your winner for the women. But really, 7,600 runners, all winners today for coming out this morning and taking part. We're going to say goodbye tonight at 5 with Hannah Lepine on CHEK News. We will have reaction from the winners. We will have coverage of the family run. Jeff King's heading over there in a second. There's your top 10 women. We'll show you the men as well. Thank you for watching coverage of this 34th TC10K. Enjoy your day. We'll see you tonight at 5. Thanks for watching CHEK. We'll be back next year. Take care.
So Rachel Featherstone, Narissa Chadwick, still got 2 minutes to go, at least. I think we started at 8:02 was the official start time. Here comes Elvis. We thought he'd left the building, and he had. Elvis Presley across the line. Well done, Elvis. Nice to see a local celebrity. Elvis Presley. We thought he'd left, but he hasn't. Tristan Wood coming in there. Nathan McCowan. Well done, Nathan. Great to see so many runners coming in. We still got, what, 1.25 minutes to go before we get to that 1 hour mark. But depends where they started on their wave. Then we've got Lisa Canwell coming in. Where's Lisa? Well done, Lisa Canwell. Here she is. Well done. Prairie Harriers, Lisa Canwell. Has her own hairdressing business just down by Globe. 59 minutes for Lisa. Nice performance, Lisa Cadwell. Then we're going to see Sean Quigley and Alison Julia, Stephanie Stone. Well done, Stephanie, coming in. Here we go with Joy Coutonier. Well done, Joy. Great performances there from everyone. James Jones, William Hunter, Colin Bath. Great performance. Well done. We're still going under the 1 hour. Look how many are coming in. It's a never-ending sea of humanity. There's Superman across the line. Elvis Presley beat Superman. That's a first. Well done to Chris Childs, Aaron Toll, Nancy Dolan coming in now. We have got runners spread out the width of the finishing straight, the length of the finishing straight, the height of the finishing straight. Well done to Matthew Justice, Francis Lee, Thomas Grosscore, Chauffeur, Rob Roseberry. Just some of the names coming in. We've got Kristen Fremont, Stephen Ashwell, Miley Curran, Mark T, Mark Pilkinson, Michelle Robb and Waters, Fiona Hugh. Well done to everyone coming in. There's a Pacific FC jersey. Nice to see Pacific FC represented. Don't forget the Pacific FC play out at the Starlight Stadium in Langford. And their season has started. Got a couple of games under their belt already. Monica Wilkins, Brad Lynn, Jim Noon, Helena Jeeves. Let's see for everyone. They'll be going for their well-deserved drinks at the end of this 10-kilometer distance. It's great to see so many. Sean Robinson, Nat Ripley, Linson Ben Bissett, Benjamin Vernon, then Dwayne Lackland, Lila Moore, just some of the runners finishing in this 10,000-meter road race here in sunny Victoria, heart of the capital. Brendan Parker, Vincent Puget, Jody Maxwell, Jessica Harris, Nelson Wolsumbi. Mimi Faraguna, we got Alan Ross, Alana Ward, Marla Race, just 10 years old. Well done, Marla. Where is she? Just 10 years old coming in there. There's Marla right in the middle. Nice performance from 10-year-old Marlo. Great performance from Marlo. Well done. Great to see. Owen Page coming in now. There's Superman Part 2 with the two minions in his basket in the trolley, I should say. Here comes Tammy Roberts, Nikki Germa. Well done, everyone. You're still close to the 1 hour. You might even be under the 1 hour because you started with Chip Timon, Kate Campbell, Maureen O'Connell. Well done to Jocelyn Levac. Samantha Hogan coming in there. Well done, Samantha. Let's see for everyone coming down this finishing straight. They've all got their goal time with 62 minutes on the clock. But don't forget, if they started in waves, these will be under 1 hour still. Going to see Camille Khan, Ira Wiley, Megan Oberg, Samantha Hogan, Megan Oberg, Will Tennyson, Stephanie Nathanson, Megan Clark, Tyler Gibson, Pablo Gonzalez, well done Pablo, Nubian, Valeria Basakov, well done Vladimir, Carla Botica, Heidi Hoffman, Diane Bertwell Garcia, Dave Beatty. All these runners coming in. Well done to everyone. Lots of runners with smiles on their faces. number 3191. Coming in very shortly, we're going to see 44-year-old AJ, otherwise known as Andrew Johnson, who is the CTV newsreader for CTV Vancouver. Here comes Andrew Johnson, everyone. A celebrity in Vancouver, a celebrity in Victoria, a celebrity in his own household. That's AJ. Great to see you at the finish line, AJ. We'll be talking about that on the news tomorrow. Tune in to CTV News, Vancouver. But don't forget CHEK as well. CHEK are here, covering the races. You'll see all the extensive coverage on CHEK TV News this afternoon. It's actually live on TV now, as we see Sarah Schroeder, Cody McGuinness coming in, Patrick Kaiser, Leo Card-Care, Charlotte Beatty, Nathan Lawrence, Jeff Scribner, well done Jeff. Then we see Randy Logan coming in now, Craig Hammond, Corrine Lamasia, well done Corrine. Pushing each other hard all the way to the finish line, just outside the 1 hour mark now. Don't forget you can see these results on sportstats.ca as we see Alan Weisker, Adrian Maracas, Katrina Anderson coming in now. Don't forget Megan Thompson. Let's hear the cheers for all these runners that have given absolutely their best effort. Well done to Robin Little and Carolina. David Green coming in now. David Green, 75 years old. David Green will be coming down the finishing straight very shortly, along with Dinah Wass and Brian Cade, Mark Healy as well. So David Green coming in now, 75 years old. Great performance there from David Green. Wendy Gromlaski, Matt Morrison, Ashley Bodner, Lisbeth Joranda Bay. Well done, Joranda. So great performances from everyone. Tejas Shabish, just 11 years old. We're going to see Tejas. So there he is across on the rails, going past all those runners. Well done, Tejas. 11 years old across the line. Rongu, Terry Kane. Going to see David Pope from Shawnigan Lake in a minute. 74 years old now for David Pope. Great performance there from David. A regular competitor in races up and down the island. Stephanie Horner coming in now, Aaron Latanzi, Michelle Mona, Adam Mona. So Adam and Michelle run together. So let's hear it for everyone. Well done from Ash Heron, Kim Coulter, Claire Seagood, Colleen Robb, Megan McCormack, Karina Gregory, Erin Ferguson, Bernard McManus, just some of the runners finishing in this 10,000 meter road race, otherwise known as the TC10K, the 2023 version, started in 1990 and still going strong today with 7,500 runners. Look at this young man just finishing here now, well done. The smallest runner so far, well done young Cooper. Wow, what a performance from that young man. Congratulations and chapeau. Sean Moore coming in now. Then we got Caitlin Perry, Carsten Moyes, Alex Hannah, Sean Moore, Jeff Decker Gomorrah, well done. Nice performance from Christy Dahlman, Chloe Clarkson, Sarah Babat. Got Darryl Woods coming in now, 72 years old from Darryl Woods. And still they come. A Sea Humanity flying down this finishing straight. 7,500 runners started this race at 8:02 a.m. Sue Daniel coming in, Nancy Johnson, Kyle Wilson, Melody Kapika, just 15 years old. Well done, Melody. Running to your own tune there. Then we see Jennifer Champion and Tira Chitadawonga Vanach. I did my best there, I hope I pronounced it right. Then we got Penny Rosalas, Benjamin Craggy, Iqbal Gay coming in. We're going to see Cindy Joyce, Kimberly Stevenson, Rebecca Craggy, Daniel Lalou, Don Devener. Just some of the runners finishing here. Jean Mananga, Dan Shaw, Desiree Deruti, well done. Don't forget, you can check your times on sportstats.ca, get all your official results. And Kevin O'Connor from BC Athletics is here in his new role, so look out for Kevin O'Connor from BC Athletics. Jordan Hines, Courtney Ashcroft, Kimberly Van der Graaf, Andrew Gorey, Carter Singh coming in now to the finish line. Great performances from everyone. We're around about 70 minutes on the clock. There's our first kilt finisher. Paul Sire, Alice Noble, Marlene Noble, Rachel Wilson, Fred Habib. Then we're going to see Paul Sire. Well done, Fred Habib. Christine Kempton, Zoe Donata, Adam Love, Tracy Similar. Well done, everyone. Look at them, the effort coming in this 10,000 meters. By the way, the world record for the 10,000 meters on the road is 26:22. Incredible that they can run 26 minutes for 10 kilometers as we come up to the 108 mark. So let's hear it for everyone. Carly Kokokla coming in. And then we see Daniel Boone, Alita Dancy, Katie Johnson, Ranjish Cooksell. Well done to Leah Burns and Brian Phillips. Let's hear it for Sadie Liptop, Susie Johnson, Colin Murphy, Kelly Trusky, just some of the runners in this mass of runners coming down this home straight, this final 150 meters of this 10,000 meters. As this wind is still strong, but the sun is now warming up a little bit. Austin Dixon, Jeff Palmer, Aaron Cole, Carlos Rendon. Well done to Bill McIntyre, 78 years old for Bill McIntyre coming in there. Great performance there, Bill. Amir Abedar to Karen McDowell. Well done to Carlos Rendon. Josie Craig, well done, Josie. So still lots of masses coming into the finish line. Let's hear it for Kaylee West, Eric Kroger, well done Erica, Sherry, Mariah Cooper, Alexis, Erin Sullivan coming in now. Well done Sharon Dowling, Dave Vaughan, Katie Bishop, Cameron Hope, Aaron Lutz. And all these runners would have had their goal times at the beginning of this race. Nice weather conditions for these runners as well, as we see Melissa Mills and Christopher Siver, Nadine Robertson, Lyndon Mikos. Let's go, Crystal Laducia. Then Courtney Smith, Becky Bennett, Liz Giles, Russell Sawyer, Nick Pettijohn, Shalene Williams, Xenia Vins, well done Xenia. Great performances from everyone, still running strong, still looking nice and relaxed, and that's the key when you're running 10,000 meters. Just try and stay as relaxed as you can. We're going to see Eva Kastleski coming in now, 76 years old for Eva. Well done. Noah Treacher. By the way, last week in London, we had a, Boston Marathon, with a 76-year-old run a 3:20 marathon. Incredible performance. Liz Dyson coming in, Charlotte Lee, Amy Saunders. Well done to Dennis Wellborn. Great performances, everyone. Well done. Still the masses coming in. Still heavily congested runners coming in, no gaps between them. Amanda Ferrer, Daniel Hobden, Julie Hobden coming in. Well done to Leah Goldsgreen. Declan Cunningham coming in now as well. Well done Declan. Not many Declans in Victoria. Just 12 years old as well. Great performance there, Declan Cunningham. Just 12 years old. He's around the 70-minute mark for the 10K. Well done Declan. David Kemp, Julie McClung, Terry LaBelle, just 13 years old from Terry. Well done, Terry LaBelle. That rings a name. Ashley Kerr now across the line. From New Westminster is Jose Rodriguez. Then we see Chelsea Griffin Doka coming in, 13 years old. So many youngsters, teenagers competing in this 10,000 meters. Well done, Katia Parich. Then we're going to see Sasha Sharma, Kathleen DeVell, Lydia Hayes, Lee Johnson, Tammy Duncan, Island Cockrell coming in now, Andrew Smith, 48 years old. Then we're going to see Sabrina Blanchard, Olivia Weeks, Chelsea Smith coming in on Modo Odu. Well done everyone, there's still no gaps. Look at all these runners. Lucas Sattel coming in, just 10 years old. Where's Lucas? Here he is. Well done, Lucas. 10 years old from that young man. Incredible performance. He must be a star pupil. There's Lucas now, just finishing, just 10 years old. Well done, young man. Maria Kang, Mark Green, Kaylee Hildebrand. Where's Kaylee? 12 years old for Kaylee. Well done, Kaylee. Here she goes. A big finish there from Kaylee Hildebrand. Right across the line. 73.5 minutes for that young lady. Okay, some of the other finishers, we just had Katie Stafford, Amelia Rose, John Coates, Katie Lovejoy. Well done to Brianne Cruikshank. Here comes Curtis Slater and Cassandra Saul. Coben Massett, Rick Sousa coming in. Well done. Just some of the names in this TC10K. Trying to get as many as I can. Well done, Benson. He's across the line there. Young Benson across the line. Kevin Iziaki, Spencer Wright, Malcolm McKenzie coming in. And still down the finish straight, we have runner after runner after runner. Still loads coming in. Great to see. There's a Leeds United shirt. Leeds United playing Bournemouth today. Are they going down or are they staying up? Marching on together. We're going to see you win. La 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 la. We are so proud. We shouted out loud. We love you, Leeds. There's a Leeds fan, you don't see many of those around. Mark Barker, John Summerfield, Michelle Stiles, Christine Costas. Well done to Nick Broad, Megan Osborne, Benny Wilson coming in now.
That's me, except that video is priceless. I love that video. Yeah, just cooking it. Hey, Luca.
Abby Ritchie coming in. We have 71-year-old Robert Holmes from Rice Horse. Well done to that. In the Yukon, all the way from the Yukon down to Victoria. Wow. Great to see David Vistendi, Troy Colville, Aaron Burns, Adam Lawrence coming in now. And we see John Walton from San Francisco. John Walton all the way from France, and Valerie Holmes coming in from the Yukon, all the way up in Whitehorse. Well done, Valerie Holmes. Welcome to Victoria. Well, Whitehorse in the Yukon. Then we're going to see Morgan Coyle from Tofino, down in Victoria with a surfboard, no doubt. And we see Tegan Randall from Sydney, just 12 years old. Where's Tegan? Tegan Randall, 12 years old, coming in there. Great to see so many youngsters taking part in this TC10K. Well done, Tegan. All the way through to the finish line. Don't forget, it is on CHEK News as well. You'll be able to see that later on today. Joe Perkins. And we see Nicola Anderson, Tom Eric, Carissa Play, Alexa McKinsey, Steve Baitner coming in, Jolena Bianco coming in now. Well done, Jolena Bianco. Then we're going to see Cameron Dane, 9 years old from Mill Bay. Where's Cameron Dane? 9 years old, coming in now very shortly. Look at all the runners coming in this TC10K. Going to see Cameron coming very shortly now, just 9 years old. Well done, Dominic. Nice performance there from Dominic. Christine Sipson, Miranda McDermott coming in now. Miranda McDermott across the line. And we see Emma Miller and Ted Grant. Then we're going to see Greg Harrison and Taryn Callahan. Sorry, it's just hard to pronounce when he has an O'Callahan, trying to say a Callahan, but I did my best. Greg Harrison, well done. Madison coming in now. Brian Beckstrom, Dominic Boutin, well done. Great performances there. We're still waiting for Emily Howells as well. Brian Day, Marina Goodwin, Blake Cretney, Justin Ramsey coming in. Well done, everyone. Push yourself right through to that finish line. Every second counts. Erin Kyo coming in. Veronica Brown and Ria Rima. David Boutin Bork coming in. From Port Alberni as well, we got athletes. We got athletes from all over the island. From north, south, east and west, across the country. We went as far away as Toronto. The second place finisher today was from Calgary. We've had runners from the Yukon. We've had runners from San Francisco. We've had runners from Alberta. We've had them from all over Canada. Great to see the TC10K well supported today. 7,500 runners at the start of the race. Let's hope we have 7,500 runners at the end of the race. So well done to everyone in this TC10K. Liam Montgomery coming in now. Unai Cloutier, 13 years old from Unai. Well done. Here comes Unai. Well done, Unai. 13 years old. Nice performance. 78 minutes on the clock in this TC10K. Elisa husband, Courtney DeFriend, Ryder Hoffman. Lindsay Hardcastle coming in now. Well done, Lindsay. Let's hear it for everyone. We've had thousands already across the line. We'll still be going strong for the next hour or so. As we see Erin Harris-Smith, Pisco Pisces, Italard, Alisa Anders, Kelsey Pullen, James York. Just some of them. Well done, Erin across the line there. Belle Sharma, Tracy Cobb, Rita Stasio. Well done to Catherine Hayden from North Saanich, Casey Charles, local athlete there. There's Video Samantha, well done Video. Michael Borry, then we see Sarah Wallace and Nicola O'Han. Jennifer Dunn coming in now as well. Well done Jennifer Dunn. Robert Muir coming in, well done Robert. There's Sandra across the line. Christopher Chutter coming in now. And still lots of runners coming in. We see Robert Muir from Calgary. Well done, Robert. Followed in by Tennis Carley and Micah Murich. And still they're flying down this home straight. Hayley Strobel, Hannah McMillan, Laura Gorell, Paula Du, Valerie coming in now, Christina Andrews, Samitra Turner, well done Samitra. High-fiving all the way to the finish line is Amy Yu from Coquitlam. Then we see Christine Andrews and Nicola Kukanis, well done. And still that wind is strong, Katie Bartland. We've got David Spillane, Amelia, Regina Dominica Guzman, 14 years old for Amelia, for Regina I should say. Here comes Regina, just 14 years old. Well done there, the cameras are out filming, making their Instagram moments of course. Caitlin Tolhurst, Jolene Schubert, Kevin Moore. Well done to Erica Meyer, 81 years old. Erica Meyer, Emily Horgan, Catherine Misko, well done. And look at the amount of runners coming down this finishing straight. 7,500. I wonder how many have started, I wonder how many have finished, I should say, so far. Congratulations to everyone who's running really well. 80 minutes on the clock. Now, don't forget we started in waves. You see Julia Barron, Bridie Griffin, Jack Wang, Lisa Eric, Catherine Redmond coming in now, and Maria Regolas, then Christian Anderson, Rebecca Bernal, Matthew Cameron, Amy Brosseau, Jasmine Allard, from Kingsville in Ontario, Leah and Mark Reed, well done. Great to see so many from across Canada. Michelle Janicki coming in now, Michelle, Jan, then Kirsten Canatelli, Corey Mosette from Victoria, local athlete. Then we're going to see Corey Bader, and there's little Milo. Good morning, Milo. There we go with Hannah Kennedy. And Kenna Moraka, Becky Bartlett, Hayley Waldos, Hannah Kennedy, Ginger McDonald coming in now. Well done everyone, you're doing really well. Becky Bartlett.
Got smart. I ended up finding, Mike said he'd give me a little badge if I got it.
Patricia Weed coming in now, Ryan Drake from Sanishton, Nellie Bowes, and we got Fraser Wilson, Hal Hendricks, Kimberly Broom, well done Kimberly, nice performance there. Kevin O'Meara coming in from Port Hadlock in Washington. Wow, we've got runners from everywhere. Kyle Cano, well done Kyle. Paula Hosking, Rebecca Olsen, Luca Jansen. And let's hear it for this wave after wave after wave of runners. Shelby Ash coming in now, Beverly Johnson, Jake Swan, and Tara Swan. Well done to Rena O'Connor. Well done to everyone. What are we on the clock now? We're about 83 minutes on the clock, but that depends where you started. What a nice finish there from Ainsley. Well done, young Ainsley. Justin Ferris, David Wilcox. Well done, Robert. Amanda Labar. Well done, Amanda. Let's go for Alana Wilson and Alexis Sokolowski. Well done. Look at all the runners coming in. Well done.
But the headset's going different. So here you go.
Here comes Margaret Long. Well done to Kate Mahone and Valerie Yakimova. Well done, Valerie. Just 14 years old for Valerie Yakimova. Where is this young lady? 14 years old, Valeria. Well done, young lady. Then we've got Kyla Checkley and Linda Beckley, Emily Sinex. Well done, Emily Miles, Sophie Swan. And then we got Stephanie Wong, Lisa Carley, David Green coming in there. So we got Leah Buckley, Jennifer Hawthorne coming in now. Let's hear for June Ling and Jessie Moore, Alexa Stewart. Well done. There's David Green. Well done, David. Great performances from everyone. Adele Hoskins, that was just across the line there. Don't forget your Instagram moment. Put your phone away now. Now you got your Instagram bit. Let's go to Curtin Nab. Then we got Paranka Talam, Shino Yasamiro, well done. Arigato. Cooper Sita, here goes Kate Catherine Johnson, well done. Well done to Carly Johnson. Paranka Talam coming in now as well, well done Paranka. Young Fan from North Saanich and Emma Gillespie. There is Emily Howes. A special cheer there, well done to Natasha. Emily Howes, mother of three. Mother extraordinaire for Emily Howes. Youngest lady's child is 3 years old. Nice to see Emily at the finish line. Jacqueline Johnson coming in, John Wood, Kevin Scandal, Christine Young, Richard Coe coming in well, and skipping to the finish line. Look at that. Bring me sunshine there, Kevin, well done. Michelle Thorburn, Steve Carrera, Sun Young Kim, Michelle Cote. There's been no gaps. There goes Monique just in front. John Percy, Lindsay Walker, Catherine Chase, Bianca Pacciano, Petra Greensdale, Madeline Dahl from Victoria, Jeff Van Hint. Then we're going to see Alyssa and Jeff Van Hint coming in together. Well done, you two. What, 85 minutes or so on the clock. And still the cheers are happening. There's young Arlo across the line. Well done, Arlo. That was Arlo de Soos, just 11 years old. Then we're going to see Robin Ruff and Brittany Utterhagen from Courtney, along with Chris Utterhagen. Well done to Brittany and Chris, running together. Gagan Minas coming in now. And January Berry. Well done, Jess Pauls. There we go. For Mary Later, 52 years old, coming in now. And we're going to see Sean Sturgill, followed in by Sam West. And then we're going to see Trent Arnott. Well done, Trent. And Tanya Pastrani, Tara Nelson from Quatsino. Then we see Mary Beast, Kirk Westergaard, Sheila Herrera, Jessica Dami, Laurie Lawney, Lisa Krapp. Garth Fuller coming in. Well done, Garth. I can see Garth now, 73 years old now and still running strong. Here comes Garth Fuller. Well done, Garth. Wearing the red t-shirt. Garth Fuller coming in, 73 years old and still running really strong. Well done, young man. Then we're going to see Anna Bunce and Julian Couture and Emma Christensen, followed in by Chanel Gallant and Adriana Gomez-Cosa and Aaron Ross, followed in by Alan Jackson, not the country singer, Great country singer, Alan Jackson. Then we've got Ryland DeBuild and Elizabeth McGraw, followed in by Laika Dela Cruz, Savannah Cantanelli, Colin Hay, well done everyone. Colleen Sigarich, Connie Robertson. Let's out for number 4761, Kerry Shaw, followed in by Michelle McMillan. And still they're coming thick and fast. Here comes Carol Brown, 70-year-old Carol Brown. Great performance there from Mitchell Gay, Ruth Kalimbo, Carla Robinson. Here comes Micah Dixon, Daniel Peros, Daniel Case, Ellie Nelson. 12 years old for Ellie Nelson. Where is she? Well done, young Ellie. Heather Sprague and Jim Oban, Colin Holt, Jean Perich, Alison Lomas, Heather Roberts, Megan Page, some of the runners coming in. Well done there, Daniela. Annabelle Hollander, Kalina Noah, here comes Christina Briggs. Still coming in strong, 90 minutes or so on the clock. What have we got? Yeah, 129. As the wind picks up even more, a chilly north wind that is. Here comes Christine Aldridge and George Ansey. Caitlin Clark, Alison Champion, Conan Murphy. Well done, Conan, just 10 years old. Here comes Deanna Smith. Then Carrie McLeod, well done, Carrie. Followed in by Bruce Wright from Parksville. Then Conrad Bartos. Here comes Leah Graham. Followed in by Christopher Archiga. And then Kieran Loyan, just Kieran. 14 years old for Kieran. Here comes Paul Jackson now, number 4529. There's Christopher as well coming in. Maylee Jane Liban, Megan McCormack. And still they're coming in thick and fast. So many runners. Thank you for supporting the 34th run-in of the TC10K. As we see Mark Myrna coming in now as well. Well done to Laurie Bottoms and June Nam. And Haysmitha Chandra. Here comes Jasmine Dewala, Talia Collins. Well done, Talia. And Jason Jensen, Teresa Haslam, Taza Hansen. And look at how many runners are coming in. It's incredible to see. So many supporters of the TC10K. And Kathy Roberts coming in now. Well done, Kathy. Kieran Raya. From Bellingham in Washington, we have Phoebe Danielson. Well done, Phoebe. Welcome to Victoria. I hope you had a great 10K out there. And Cameron Watson, Heather Watson as well. Well done, Heather. Nice to see Heather Watson here. Jade Aladoras from Brentwood Bay. Julie Lavoie, Christine King, Catherine Fife. Next in is Sandy Batananga and Kim Roberts from Campbell River. Followed in by Samantha Chiki from Campbell River too. Then we've got Kathy Etchenberg and Farron Olick. Ria Rampasad. Then MJ Cousins and Mina Westhaver. Let's hear for all these runners coming in. Sue Green as well, Wendy Ramsden. Then we've got Maxine Crawford, Sandy Morris. From the Noose Bays, 21-year-old Jules Clark. Well done, Jules. Look out for Tammy Lamford and Drew Mangman from Duncan. And then Anil Appa, Denise Butler. Kalita Ortega from St. Albert in Alberta is Laurel Lowe, 39 years old, I should say. Took 8 years off of them. Maybe the 10K will put 8 years on her. Well done to Dolores Dowler. Coming in now, Dolores Dowler, 74 years old, from local athlete from Victoria. And yes, they are. Well done, Chris Couch across the line there with Elena Dean. Well done, Reese Palmer. 11 years old, Reese Palmer. Well done, young man. Marita Gully coming in. Well done, Kaylee Sheck and Eamon Beeman. Amanda Yardley. From Sanishton is Tesla Meinenberg. I wonder if Tesla's got a electric motor. Well done, Tesla Meinenberg. Called Tesla way before the car company ever did. Tarang Burkhardt, Maddie Best coming in now. Well done, Maddie. Here comes Greta Sittler and Christina Valentino with Amy Washington and Kelly Lee coming in now as well. Pam Glover with Dan. Pam and Dan Glover. Then we've got Amanda DaCosta. VJ Vyas coming in now as well. And Shea Brennan, just 10 years old. Well done, Shea. And Kelly Edwards with Brian Nursery. Well done, Kelly. Here comes VJ Vyas. Well done, VJ. Then we got a 9-year-old Sebastian Bosch coming in. Where's Sebastian? Well done, Sebastian. Look at that. 9 years old, leaning across the line. Well done, Sebastian. You can stop now, you're finished. Oh, still going. Yeah, still going. Good one, Sebastian. Claire Trotter, Nolan Williams, Catherine Nutt coming in now. Followed by Brenda Kolodzet-Squirt, Shannon Marshall, Stephen Karamidas, Jessica Hughes and Vicky Yu. Well done, Vicky. 22 years old. Jackie Richards from Victoria 65. Alexander Corner, Gage Griswold, Megan Will. Then we got Tamara Livingston coming in now as well. So many runners coming in this TC10K that started in waves between the 8 and the 8:15 mark. Tanya Tremblay coming in now as well. Well done to Sarah Patterson, Michelle Rogers and Tanya Tremblay from Corney. Then we've got Christina Gilchrist, Michelle Wellraven, Rachel Story and Sarah Taylor coming in now as well. Let's hear it for Devika Hirmath, Michelle Wellraven. Well done, Michelle. We've got Crystal Brown coming in and Ashley Boland. Fergal Mann, just 15 years old from Cobble Hill. Well done, Fergal. Then we got Holly Cairns from Kelowna, Crystal Brown. Well done. Nice part of the world, isn't it, Kelowna? Maybe a bit warmer there. It's getting cold here now. Then we got Roberta Fraser and Cheryl Hall, Angela Galloway, Natalie Jackson. Followed in by Alex DeBolt from Campbell River. Alex, just 13 years old. Well done, Alex. Angela Gray, Cheryl Hall. Then we can see Jan Johnson and Stephanie Pete. And Tamara Strachan coming in very shortly. Tamara Strachan across the line. Let's hear it for Samantha Kilcardy. Donna Smith coming in and Tracy Johnson. So many runners coming in now. Alison Morgan from Salt Spring Island. 64-year-old Uni Brindamore. We saw Tessa Emsey, Jenna Shipway, Sandra Ann, Uni Brindamore. Anna Paccio, well done, Anna. So many runners coming in now. Tessa Emsey, Tina Martin, Jenny Shipway, Sandra Ann, Ann Paccio, Maeve LaRue, well done. Well done, Maeve. Just 9 years old from Souk. There she is. Well done. That's Maeve LaRue. Great performance there. Kira Kirk, Amanda Adams, Linda Wilton. Well done, Kirk Hepburn, Jennifer Adams, Mercy Bracano. Echo Colpass coming in as well. Here comes Gord Burke. Well done there. Ashley Butcher. Ron Geddes coming in now, 77 years old. With Michael Sidhu from West Van and Tyler Tibbs and Monique Hiltz. Well done there, Kiefer. Kiefer across the line. Well done, Jennifer Adams now across the line too. Now we're coming up to the 96-minute mark. Don't forget, we started this race in waves. So different waves, different times. Check out your results on sportstats.ca. Ron Geddes coming in from Surrey, Johan van Dijk. Then Mina Westhaver, Miranda Chappell. Well done, everyone. Nice performances. Ron Geddes across the line there. Manny Etolod, Angela Eames and Stacey Mears-Keel. Well done there. Laura Riddell, Sharon Klein coming in now, 7975. So many great runners still. Boffan Lee, Bianca, and then Jackie Tyne. Going to see Greg Launder very shortly. Well done, Bianca. Great performances from everyone. Nice to see so many taking part in this TC10K. There goes Laura Riddell, Boffan Lee, Bianca, Greg Launder, Alison Flack, Jennifer McCrae, Evan Mill, Sam Ruddy Ashok, 9 years old is Sam Ruddy. Well done, young man. Caroline McAndrews. Here comes our first Tanzania athlete. Well done there. Tanzania across the line from East Africa. So there's our East African across the line. Mary Vasey, Alexandra Moni Devas, Roger Dunn coming in. Well done. Jennifer McCrae coming in now. Well done. Caroline McAndrews, Mary Vasey, Alex Moll, 73 years old from Mill Bay. Then we got Nidhi Vass, there you go. Roger Dunn, followed in by Fiona Latsanzi. Okay, then Melanie Mortensen just crossing the line there. Well done, Melanie. Jennifer McDonald and Sally Bushby, Michaela Capri from Shawnigan Lake, Louise Dixon and Praveen Kashyap, Leonista Clark, Kimberly Illett, and Shauna Zabo. Well done, Shauna Zabo. Nice performance there from Shauna. And we're going to see Haim Vati Shabish, Kalista Curran. Well done, Andrew Kerrigan. Followed in by Holly Kincaid, Karina Dilly. And then we got Pradibha Bhatnagar, well done. Christina Neyman and Darcy Nyman, followed in by Jill Galt. So let's see for all these runners coming in. Still going strong. Wendy Croucher and Steve Croucher coming in together, well done. There's Wendy and Steve Croucher. We've got Ria Bat and Mirakia Tiru Kovalia and Arena Zhang and Mackenzie Williams, followed in by Tara Golpin and Melissa Sexsmith, followed in by Darcy Lindbergh and Namrata Vinod. Well done, Namrata. There's Melissa just crossing the line now. Well done, Melissa Sexsmith, 4:07.9. Arms in the air. Look at this young lady. Well done, just 8 years old. Arcadia Gunning. Well done, Arcadia. And she's still going strong as well. Arcadia, she is not slowing down. She is going right through to the finish line. Well done, young Arcadia. Andrea Botero, Dylan Gunning, and Jacqueline Sun just across the line there now. Jane Whitley, 74 years old. Well done to Herman Vanderbilt, 83 years old. Well done, Herman. What a great performance there. Reagan Efford, Leslie Lowen, Murray Mann now as well, and Aoife Mann. 12 years old Aoife Mann from Shawnigan Lake. Well done, Aoife. Where is she? She's coming in very shortly. Young Aoife Mann, great performance there. Well done, Heather Mahoney, well done. And Rebecca Walker. As the wind picks up and the sun disappears behind the clouds, we've had the best conditions this morning. A sub 30-minute 10K for the winner. So Thomas Hobbs, sub 30 minutes. David Mutai in second. Robert Walsh coming in now. Robert from Brentwood Bay, and 80 years old. We'll expect to see Robert very shortly. Dinah Smith in. Then we've got Nancy McNeil. Well done, Nancy. There's Robert Hook. Darcy Williams, Braden Hanson. Well done, everyone coming in now on the 1 hour 43 mark in this 10K. Jeff Sorensen, Leslie Lahaye, Gregory Hamilton. Well done, Natasha Kojinacic and Anastasia Dahlgren. Well done, Anastasia. Nice performance there. Followed in by Arnold Gunter, 75 years old. Donna Lee Webb. Well done from Donna Lee Webb. Across the line there, Andrea Clark. Great performances there. Chloe Shaw coming in very shortly. There's Max coming in, Max Roberts from North Vancouver. Well done, Max. And Lorraine Nygaard, Elizabeth Sheehan coming in now. There's Cora Porter-Jones, just 10 years old from Shawnigan Lake. Well done, Catherine Merry as well. Another 10-year-old, and look at this, flying through the finish line is Rayleigh Wacker. Well done. Only 9 years old. Nice performance, Shay Gundy Cummings. Great to see so many youngsters in this TC10K that started with 7,500 runners at 8 a.m. We got Katrina Gano finishing Elizabeth side. Then we got Manny Ross coming in very shortly. Don't forget the results are on sportsstats.ca. Thank you to all the volunteers at the finish line giving out refreshments. Then we got Katrina Gano coming in very shortly. Well done, Manny Ross, Louis Stephen, Tara Kennan, Angela Frost now. Well done, Angela. There she is. And then we got our next runner coming in, Beth Bim, and then Nanish Agrawal. Well done, Nanish. Well done, Kirsten Duncan and Jan Price, Caroline Macy Brown, then Montana Sawyer and Colin Knowles. There goes George coming in. Well done, George. Nice run there from George. There he is across the line. We got 12-year-old Madden Smykel coming in. Maybe related to Peter Smykel, Casper Smykel. There's Madden Smykel. Well done. Molly Gates now across the line. Ren Van Ramsdonk. Then Carmen McDonald and Erin Ball. Still coming in nice and strong. Lots and lots.